welcome back to my channel. So my first video just went up fairly recently, the booktube newbie tag, and I did end up filming a total of 6 videos that day because I'm a bulk filmer. So I actually have a YouTube channel and it is called Diamond Painting with AbigailMarie. So this is my second channel now. And a few of the things that I answered, the tag questions, it got me thinking. So why did I start a booktube channel? Why do I want to start a second channel? Why do I want to do this? And the reason, aside from the fact that I enjoy booktube, really it boils down to the fact that I haven't read a book in a year, about a year. And reading is what saved my life before. And so I need to get back to the point of my life where I'm able to read. And that's kind of what this video is going to be about. I'm going to go on a journey of refinding myself and refinding my taste in books and refinding who I am as a reader. Because that's really what this is about. And another thing is like, of course, I intend to film your classic like book hauls and book reviews and what I read in whatever month and, you know, bookish things like that, as well as potentially like vlogs and stuff. But what's different about me versus everyone else on YouTube is they're in their phase of reading. They're not currently in a year-long reading slump. So I figured I would take this time to sort of explain who I am and explain what happened to get me to this point. So if you are not necessarily new to me as a person, maybe you follow me on Instagram or on my other YouTube channel, you know that I go from 0 to 100 real quick. I have no chill. I don't do anything halfway. So for me, I'm either 100% in or 100% out. So when I kind of stopped reading, I'll explain what happened. So October 2019, there was like the spookathon or whatever it was, the Halloween catered readathons, and I was invested and I was like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna read a Stephen King book, I'm gonna read this horror book, this spooky book, that spooky book. And then it all fell apart because when I overwhelm myself, I don't have the ability to sort of dial it back. I just expect so much of myself as a person and as a mom, at work, as a reader, as a YouTuber. I just expect so much of myself that no one else is being let down, but I am. I've let myself down. So when I sort of fell out of reading, I was like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to catch up. And then I hit a wall emotionally. It was right before we started to see things on the news about the Rona and all that. I hit the wall. So a little bit of backstory about me, just in case you are new to me as a person. During the worst months, the first from March to September, my son ended up going to stay with my mom because I work in a hospital and I did not have the luxury to stop working. I had to continue working and schools were closed. So I had no choice but to send my son to my mom's house. And this ordinarily would have been the point in time in my life where I was like, okay, I'm going to throw myself at reading. And I didn't. And that's kind of where I am now. I found diamond painting and I've loved it. I love diamond paintings. It's been a fantastic experience. I've met so many wonderful people through the craft and through diamond painting YouTube and through diamond painting Instagram. But I needed more. I needed to find myself again, and that's kind of where I am. So this is more a journey of sort of self-discovery and re-remembering who I am as a person, who I am as a reader. So we're gonna go on this journey together. We're gonna go take a look at my bookshelf and we're gonna just pick a book. Whatever book stands out to me, I'm gonna pick it and I'm just gonna start reading and we're gonna see what happens. So rather than bring my big giant camera with me, I decided I would go ahead and sort of vlog style it for at least for a little bit. If I end up getting to the point where vlogging is something I enjoy or you guys enjoy, I will go ahead and grab a vlogging style camera, because I can't imagine lugging that thing, where is it? That thing around everywhere I go. So here is my bookshelf. It is double stacked. Disaster. Here's some of my son's toys down here. But it is a giant mess. So we're gonna go ahead and just look it over and grab whatever it is that sort of strikes me as something I need in my life right now. So you see my taste is pretty eclectic. I have a lot of young adult. I have some Harry Potter right there. I have some book outlet purchases right here, more down here, some Percy Jackson down here. Don't mind my son's toys, he's gonna clean them when he gets home. And then lots of book of the month. This is sort of a sneak peek for some upcoming videos I filmed. I'm just gonna go ahead and grab one. What do I feel like reading? I saw one earlier that sort of grabbed my attention. What is this one up here? Let's see. Oh, that's a poem book. I could read that. Let's see. I don't really feel like anything that's gonna be spooky. I feel like a light read will a sort of light read will help me to get back into what I want to do here. Let's see. I got plenty of Stephen King books. See? Those are double stacked, triple stacked up in there too. Stay. Is this a cord from my son's? Yep, that would be a cord from his toy. What can I find that will be a light read? Hi, say hi to my fish. Hi, fishy. What can I find that will be a light read? I mean, of course, we have the classic of Harry Potter, but no books back there. Okay. I don't really feel like reading Harry Potter. I wanted something light, but it looks like I grabbed one of the lightest. Oh, okay. All right. We'll do this. Okay, so we'll do The Wedding Date by Jasmine Guillory. So I have read one or two of her books before. Let's see. How many have I read? This will be the read that hopefully brings me back to who I am as a reader. So I sort of already mentioned why I ended up choosing this book, because I wanted something light. I didn't want something that was going to be heavy, especially trying to get back into reading after almost a year. So I grabbed something I thought would be light and fluffy. This is my plan for today. I am going to read 50 pages of this today, and I will take you along for the experience. While I was reviewing the footage, I realized I never gave a proper synopsis for The Wedding Party. So here is my attempt at a synopsis. So if you have been following Jasmine Guillory's books, you know that there is one called The Wedding Date, there is one called The Proposal, and now of course we have The Wedding Party. So The Wedding Date follows Alexa as she gets stuck in an elevator with Drew and obvious things occur. And then the second novel is about Carlos and Nick. So Carlos is Drew's friend and Nick is someone I can't remember exactly, it's been years, so forgive me. But this novel follows Alexa and her leading up to her wedding day. And of course on the cover we have Maddie and Theo. Maddie and Theo are Alexa's best friends and they hate each other. So we have a little bit of hate to love romance happening there, which is always a favorite of mine. I wish I could give more to you, but I feel like a synopsis after you've read the book is liable to give spoilers. But long story short, we have Maddie, who is a bridesmaid, and Theo, who is a bridesman. I loved that part. And they're sort of having to work together even though they can't stand each other throughout the novel because of Alexa and her wedding. So they keep bumping into each other and they keep bumping into each other, and it's sort of about them falling in love from hating each other off of a foul first impression to falling in love. Hello, we are in my car. This is day 2 of the falling in love with reading again vlog. Don't mind me, I'm in Florida and it's so hot, so my face is liable to be lobster red. So I started to vlog this yesterday after I finished filming the intro clip and everything like that. I didn't read any of it. So far we're off to an excellent start. No, we're not. I have to film something for my other channel tonight. After we get back from dinner, we are on our way to Texas Roadhouse. So I'm gonna go enjoy dinner with my family, or try to, in the midst of a global pandemic anyway. We're gonna do that, and I'm gonna come home, I'm gonna film for my other channel, and then I have the evening free. So there's that. I'm not sure when this video is gonna go up. I'm assuming it's gonna go up after I finish a book. Any book. Just finish one book. That's all I'm asking, is one. I'm filming this on my phone, so that's why I'm like, here is the thing, and this is my face. I'm looking at my face. Here's you, here's my face, you know? So I do have a camera, and I started, all the videos so far have been filmed on my camera, but this video is like a vlog style, and well, that's that. So I have filmed a 2-minute clip, and I haven't done any reading. So do you like my shirt? It says sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Do you like it? I like it. My mother-in-law hates it though, so. Okay, I brushed my teeth, so I am good to go to bed now. So I'm gonna spend a little bit of time reading before bed, and then I will probably watch a booktube video. I'm trying to watch a lot of booktube newbie book tags, because today I put up my first booktube video. So I'm trying to watch all of those. I have to set my hair. It's already sort of twisted and the product is in it. I just need to like get it so that I can go to bed. So I am gonna do that now. Really quickly, I wanted to introduce you to my friend. His name is Abigail. So my name is Abigail, and his name is Abigail. And the reason that he's called Abigail is because my friend Bev, who I met through the diamond painting community, she has a channel as well. I can link her in the description box, but she sent me this because I loved hers, so she sent me one, and I love him so much. I sleep with him literally every night. So I am gonna go ahead and sort of get myself to the point where I can go to bed now. So I will see you hopefully in the morning with a book update. All right. Hello, my loves. I am on my way home from work. It is super hot outside. And as stated in an earlier clip, I do not have working AC right now. So my windows are down. So hopefully this clip goes well. If it doesn't, I can always delete it and attempt to refilm it. Though I don't know if I will do it accurately. So we're just gonna have to hope for the best. I'm gonna get my AC fixed at some point, but that point is not now, if that makes sense. Anyways, a couple things I wanted to mention while I am doing like a little bit of an update regarding this here book. So it turns out Jasmine Guillory has actually written 2 books previous to this one, or prior to this one, and I actually read both of them. Okay, so the first one was called The Wedding Date, which is The Wedding Date, which is where the series sort of gets its name. And the second one is called The Proposal. So the first one was about Drew and Alexis, or Alexa, I can't remember, but it was about them, and I liked their story. And then the next one was about Nick and Carlos, and I liked their story as well. I wish I would have done a little bit more research before I started reading that book, just because I feel like I'm missing pieces to the puzzle, and fair enough, I am. So I wish I would have just read the synopsi, if you will. So I went ahead and just looked, and just to see when I read them. So I actually read the first one on add or edit dates. I'm at a stoplight. It's totally fine. and it's not wanting to load. So, okay, so March 22nd and March 24th of 2018. Is that right? Did I say that right? Yeah, so that book took me like 2-3 days of 2018. And then the second book, which came out later that year, the 2018, the one that's called The Proposal. Let's see, I gave that one a 3 stars. I gave the other one a 4 stars. This one I read between June 5th and June 10th. So, did I say that right? Did I really give the other one 4 stars? Yeah, I did. So, I think the thing about rating like romance and contemporary, for me anyway, I have a sort of a different evaluation. I might have to roll the windows up. Okay. We're braking. Of course we are, because it's Florida. Nobody knows how to drive. Oh my God, this guy just cut off a school bus, dude. Incredible. Unbelievable. These people are freaking crazy. Anyways, so the thing about rating romance and contemporary is I find it difficult to rate these things. So when it comes time for horror movies, horror stories, did it scare me? And I kind of go based on that, if that makes sense. So if it scared me, it's going to get a higher rating than something that didn't necessarily scare me. And then for thriller and mystery, it's going to get a little bit different of a rating based on whether or not it actually was a thriller. Did it thrill me? Was it a mystery? Did I guess it? And then, of course, we have to evaluate the technical things such as writing and plot and stuff like that. But when it comes time for romance and contemporary books like that, I have a harder time with my scale, because it feels wrong to rate someone else's love story. You know what I mean? It feels not right to sort of judge someone else's life. Now, I know this is fictional, so don't come for me. I understand the difference between fiction and nonfiction, but when you're reading a contemporary book versus something that's like urban fantasy or something like that, these books are very much based off of real life. So experiences that you could sort of have in real life. Like, okay, so for example, even if they are a bit ridiculous, like for example, going back to The Proposal, the Dodgers game with Nick and Carlos. So Nick was in a relationship with this guy, I guess, and mind you, I had to refresh myself, so I don't actually recall all of it. I hope I'm recording. I am. Okay. So she went to the Dodgers game with her then boyfriend. Yes, I'm aware that my windows need to be greased. If you follow me on my diamond painting channel, no, I'm not interested in greasing them. This is my announcement. I am here. While that's kind of crazy to think that like some guy that you're not really even in a relationship all that long with, and especially someone that's kind of like rocky. So if you're not aware, spoiler alert, let's talk about that real quick. Nick and her boyfriend at the time go to the Dodgers game, and he proposes on the big Jumbotron thing. It is sort of weird because, I mean, yeah, people do propose with the Jumbotron, so that's true. But, I mean, these things don't happen to you, so, like, you could argue that that would be rude. You could argue that that would be sort of a unbelievable thing. You know what I mean? I never want to rate somebody else's romance. It's a harder concept. Of course we're breaking. It's a harder concept to rate that because it's so rooted in reality that the only thing you can really rate based on it is how did the love scenes go, you know? And how was the writing? Like, when it comes time for, like I said, horror and mystery, I rate it on sort of a different scale. And maybe that's wrong. Like, maybe I'm rating books incorrectly. I could be. I mean, I don't know. But I did sort of refamiliarize myself. Sorry. Stop moving. I sort of did refamiliarize myself very briefly with her previous 2 books, and just sort of read the synopsises, and I did rate them at 4 and a 3. Now, I'm not sure why. I would have to reread them to reevaluate them today, as I am today, because I think that one thing that can be argued about rating and how I rate books and stuff like that is it's ever changing. So for me, like 4 or 5 years ago, my ratings would have been based on, did I feel something? And somewhat so, my ratings are still sort of based on, did I feel something? But at this point in my life, I am I'm depressed and anxious all the time. So I'm almost sort of numb to feeling. Like, it has to be a very powerful emotion to get me to, like, for example, cry or, you know, laugh out loud at something that is happening in a book. Like, maybe that's, once again, a flaw within myself. But all this to say, it's difficult to rate contemporary books. So I'm not really sure how I'm feeling. Granted, I only am about like 30 something pages in. So I don't really know if I have enough to sort of go based on anything. But I will say, spoiler alert, for less than 30 pages in, they already did it. So there was no build-up. However, this is very much a enemies to lovers sort of romance, which I do enjoy a good enemy to lover romance. So I'm not against it. I'm not opposed to this at all. However, I feel like there should have been more build-up, and they weren't even, like, spoiler alert once again, they weren't even, but I mean, how spoilery is it? If it happens 30 pages in, how spoilery is it? They weren't drunk. They were dancing, and then one thing led to another, and then next thing they know, they were not dancing, and they were doing it. So, I don't know. I'm not really sure how to feel about it. I do like Jasmine's writing. It's very, it's not flowery. Like, it's not, I don't know how to, it's an easy time to read it. You know what I mean? It's not going to take all of your brain capacity to understand what's happening like the way it would for certain thrillers or horrors or things like that, which is exactly why I chose to grab a fun, hopefully easy to get into book. So I'm at a stoplight again, so I'm going to tell you, I'm exactly 36 and a half pages in. Oh, Lord, it is so hot. So that's kind of where I am right now. This is a 10-minute clip. This is going to be a long vlog. I feel like it's going to be a long vlog. And I don't even know if any of this made sense. So one of the things that sort of makes me uncomfortable with, or has made me uncomfortable with BookTube in the past, is the fact that I'm not a very technical reader. I read for the pleasure, not to analyze, not to rate, not to, you know, delve into technicalities and stuff like that. Like, I don't pay very much attention to plot line either. I read more for characters, but I do love an enticing plot. So that's one thing that, you know, that's one reason that for me, romance, I was hoping would pull me in, because I'm not reading for a thrill. I'm not reading for technicalities and technical, I'm not, you know, Garcia technical analyst and all that, but you know what I mean? Long story short, I am 36 pages in and I'm having a difficult time with it. It's not bad. Whose car sounds like that? Good God. Anyways, sorry. I'm having a difficult time with it because it's not what I had anticipated. It's more, I mean, fair enough, it's my own fault, because what I should have done was refamiliarize myself with the other two books, but I digress. 36 pages in, there's your update. I'll give you another one when I have read a little bit more. Okay, hello. So I just got my child in bed, at least I hope he's in bed. I apologize for my last clip. I don't know how much of that is going to stay in. I ended up going off on a tangent, which is literally just who I am. So hopefully you like it. So I am about, let's see, 65 pages in. And I have a few thoughts. First and foremost, of course, I did mention in the car that they already did it. They've done it again, and apparently they're on their way to do it again. So their whole enemies to lovers thing is like, they just keep driving the point home. Like, yeah, we don't like each other. We're still gonna do it though. And like, I get it. It's fine. But like, I mean, like, the first thing they do is it. Like 20 something pages in. That's the first thing they do. And they do it again. I did not like, however, the way that they choose to pass time in this book. He's in bed now. Was not before. Is in bed now. So
I get it, the passage of time with them not being friends, so they don't really need to talk every day, but it's kind of starting to bother me because they've spent 6 weeks and then 10 months not talking to each other and still into each other and thinking about each other.
And I guess it's just sort of started to irritate me that they are so into each other that they haven't... Oh, my hair is a mess, y'all. Oh, there's my 1K balloons from hitting 1K. Oh, my hair. Oh, it's my 1K balloons from hitting 1K on my other channel. Anyways, sorry, got distracted by shiny. So I get it, like they're not even really friends, so they don't really need to contact each other, but I just sort of feel like if they were really like into each other the way that they're both... Oh, did I mention it's in 2 perspectives? So it's in 2 perspectives. So you have her perspective, her being Maddie, and then his perspective, him being Theo. So it's written in 2 perspectives, and they both are thinking about each other. So it just kind of feels like because they're both friends with the girl, did I even mention that? I can't even remember what I've mentioned anymore because my car clip was so long. But yeah, they're both best friends with the same person, so it really feels like, why, if they're that into each other, why haven't they reached out? I don't know. I'm confused. I'm sure I get it, they're enemies, but it really feels, I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to read. I'm not going to update you again for a little while. This is my first vlog style video, so it's like I'm trying to update you, but also not overly update you, but also like not update you. Anyways, I'll see you in the next clip. Bye.
Hello, my loves. I'm updating from my car again because where else does an adult who's been on YouTube for almost a year update from? Certainly not a designated filming area. It's certainly not in front of their bookshelves if they're trying to be a booktuber. But here I am, alas, a special breed of YouTuber, new generation of booktuber, at it again with a car update. So, first of all, it's raining. Can you hear it? We're just gonna have to roll with it because once I pick my child up, I won't have the opportunity to update again until I go to bed because my thoughts aren't PG. So we have done it now, according to the book, 5 times we've had sex. So fine, everything's fine with that. I don't have a problem with it. I actively search out some raunchy books, some smut, if you will. So that's not a problem for me, but I'll tell you what is a problem for me. I am reading this so slow. Ordinarily, by, what is this day? Let's see, I actually started the book on Wednesday. So today being Friday, I would have had the book finished by now, or at least almost finished. I am reading this so slow, and I can't decide. Is this my water? It's one of my waters. So I can't decide if I'm actually, like, just not enjoying the book, or, hold on, let me roll my windows down so I don't die. I can't decide if I'm, like, not enjoying the book, or if it's, like, not the right book to get me out of a reading slump, because, like, objectively there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just struggling. And it sure would suck to DNF the very first book I picked up since going on a year-long reading slump. And I'm wondering if I need to pick up a new book. Like, I find myself doing anything and everything to not read this book. Like, I'm sitting here, I'm like, I have no problem watching YouTube. I like YouTube, obviously. I typically don't find 56 videos to watch just to avoid reading a book. As a matter of fact, usually it's let me put the phone away so that I can spend more time reading. And here I am, not reading. And so part of me is concerned I just selected the wrong book. And the other part of me is like, well, am I even a reader at all anymore? Like, after a year-long time, over a year, since the last time you, like, would have considered yourself, like, an avid reader, for example. Because I did read one book in, like, May-ish. I read I'll Be Gone in the Dark, or Home Before Dark, or whatever, by Riley Sager. And it was super good. I finished it in 3 days, which is... objectively it's good, but that's one of the slower times that I've read a book. So I'm really starting to question, why does it keep slipping? Actually, you know what? I know why it keeps slipping. Sorry about the angle change. So now I'm just starting to question everything about myself. Like, am I really a reader? I'm like, I know the answer is yes. So the fact that I read 129 books in 2019, from January to October, to beginning of October, I mean, that proves that I'm a reader. But the fact that I can't get into this book is really starting to, like, mess with me mentally, because I have been able to be okay with the last 2 books that I read from this author. I know I updated you on that last time I was in my car. I just, like, okay, so my update from last night, I was talking about how I had to go mod my friend's live for the other community that I have a YouTube channel in, the diamond painting community. These people drive so bad, I swear. Anyways, I had 2 hours, roughly 2 hours, in between the time that I got my child into bed and I had to start modding. But do you want to know how many pages I read last night? Like 10. In 2 hours. I watched a couple booktube videos. I found a couple people I like and I hit subscribe to them in the bookish community, and all that was fine, but I spent 2 hours not reading. And ordinarily I wouldn't have even wanted to go to my friend's live to avoid, like, to be able to read. So to circle back, bring it back. What I'm worried about is, I know I'm a reader. I have been my whole life. For God's sakes, I read all 7 Harry Potter books in 2 weeks when I was in, like, high school. I read the Twilight books in 1 week when I was in high school. I friggin' read 129 books in, like, 9 months in 2019. I read at about the speed of a book every 3 to 4 days. If it's a long one, if it's a short one, I've been known to start and finish a book in 1 day, and here I am just struggling. I'm struggling, and I'm wondering if there's anything I can physically do to sort of compensate. Like, do I need to... I know balancing my time is going to be a whole thing, because I have a YouTube channel in the other community, the diamond painting community. I keep mentioning it, but I have that, and I like to try and put up a video every day to every other day at the very least. I put up 5 videos a week, and that doesn't include the times I go live. Yes, I do go live on my other channel. So, and I'm a pretty well-established member of that community, actually. I hit 1,000 subscribers. I have people that support me. It's like, why did I choose to start a booktube channel in the midst of growing another channel? I don't know. But between balancing these 2 channels, balancing these 2 hobbies, which is something I needed to do anyway, because I needed to get back into reading, because a reader is originally who I am. Like, I don't identify as anything else. Like, I am having an existential crisis right now, and I know that this is ridiculous, and I'm just screaming into the void about my problems, but if you're also going through this, help me out. Like, what do you do to get out of a year-long reading slump? Help. Okay, so I am gonna go get some Wendy's. I have Jenny here on my phone. She is riding shotgun right here. You can't see her, but she's there. We're gonna go get a pretzel burger.
It's a draft. Yeah. All my friends pulled up for good vibes. We know that the goodbyes could mean gone too soon. We ain't tryna live forever. Just live it up. Baby, I know life's better when I'm with ya. We ain't tryna live for. Okay. Hey, whole gang go up when it's sundown. Let this song play while I dance with you. Cause one day there won't be no one around. And I wanna love all I can on you. No one really knows when it's all said and done. But when our time winds up, I bet it all on us.
So I finished the wedding party and I have some thoughts. I know that in the previous clip that I filmed, I wound up going off on a tangent about something that I read. But for the most part, I was going through a little bit of a crisis because I've mentioned it a few times that I have been away from booktube for so long and I've been away from reading for so long that I don't know if I know how to rate books anymore and if I can critically rate books. There was one specific scene that sort of irritated me, but if I had kept reading, if I had kept reading, I would have seen a resolution to it immediately. I had a little bit of a problem with the scene where she was going into his office to do some things and he was nervous. I mean, respectably so. He was nervous and she shot a remark at him implying that he was boring and conservative and whatever else. And he said some hurtful things right back. I felt that his blows were a little bit too harsh to compare to what she had said. But in that time that I was filming that, I'm so used to characters having sex everywhere. I'm used to characters just doing it on desks, doing it in cars, doing it in public places. So for me, that felt normal for her to walk in and try to get it on in his office. Like, not that that's normal, but it felt normal in the context because I'm reading a romance novel, and if you've ever read a romance novel ever, you know that they be doing some risky things. So I just was used to it. So I didn't read much into that. I would like to take this time now to amend that. That was probably not a good move because I know, for example, I couldn't go to my fiance's job and try to do it on his desk. So that was a little bit of me being used to sort of the sex positive culture and the everywhere, anytime at all type deal that comes along with romance novels. I was choosing to disband belief in this time when I shouldn't have, which is strange because if you are familiar with my reading taste in general, you know that I struggle actually with disbanding belief, but this sex has been normalized in romance novels, so I was just going along for the ride. For all intents and purposes, they could have had sex on the desk and I wouldn't have thought much different. But with all that aside, I will now get into the ending of this and my thoughts. So I am going to give this book a 3 out of 5. I love Jasmine Guillory's writing. I think that it's not the most complex writing, but it's also not simplistic in the sense that you're reading, for example, a high school paper. You know what I mean? So it's right in the middle. It's not super complex. You're not having to deal with thick writing. And it's very light and it's fun and it's fluffy. And that's exactly what I was hoping that I could do to sort of get myself back into reading. So I'm glad that I picked this one up. I did struggle a lot, as you saw. I'm not really sure if it's even this book or if it's reading in general that I was struggling with, because I was finding any excuse to stop reading. I made it pretty far into the book before I got to a point where I wanted to keep reading, if that makes sense. So I actually, in the last, I think 2 days, I ended up reading everything past that one scene that I was griping about. So roughly 170 pages got read in the last 2 days, which is average for me in a day. So that also will tell you something. There's nothing wrong with this book. I definitely feel like the problems I have with this book, I have with romance in general. The sort of normalizing of having sex in public, but that wasn't a problem for me. It was everything that happened after. But the other problems that I have is always the conflict. I'm not a fan of conflict in general. I'm not a fan of confrontation in books. So for this book, I spent a lot of the time sort of trying to understand why they were saying horrible things to each other throughout, and just throwing digs in every so often. It wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad book by any means. I enjoyed my time reading it once we got sort of halfway. The first initial half was them keeping their relationship secret and trying to keep everything under wraps. Spoilers, they were hiding everything from everyone, and it was clear to everyone but them that they were in love. And I guess the only problem that I really have with romance books, in every romance books, is the confrontation, and how the confrontation happens in the third act, towards the end, or towards the beginning of the third act. And the entire third act is basically them sort of going through the motions of dealing with these things that happened and sort of trying to get over it. And then of course the final 2-3 scenes are them coming back together, and that is an issue that I take in most romance novels that I read. I don't love the concept of spending 2 whole acts completely in love and 1 act where they're sort of separated, but that's a romance novel. But I just wish that we had sort of a little bit more at the end of this to make up for the fact that we spent the majority of the time in the third act apart. Now, I do want to mention that, let me pull it up here, that Jasmine Guillory does have another book in this series. So I imagine that, being that she does this thing where she sort of sets up the love, and you have the confrontation of each character in the books, but then you sort of get the Easter eggs, which is why I love companion novels. You get the Easter eggs of the previous couples in the following book. So I am definitely looking forward to that. I am going to go ahead and pull up her Goodread page. Turns out she actually has 3 more books. So we have Royal Holiday, which is the wedding date 4. And then we have Party of 2, which is the wedding date 5. And then While We Were Dating, which is the wedding date 6. And that last one comes out this year in July, and the other 2 are already out. So I will have to pick those up to get the little snacks and little scenes of them in the next books. So all in all, I would say that this book took me on a journey. Not necessarily a bad one, but also not a good one. I don't take issue with anything in this book, and I'm not choosing to say that this book is not, it didn't help me get out of my reading slump, is basically what I'm trying to say here. It took me a week to read a 337 page book. So that is way off for what I would read typically. But I did enjoy this book, and I'm excited to pick up the rest of the books by Jasmine Guillory. I do love her writing, like I said. Not too thick, just right. So all in all, this concludes my first reading vlog for this channel. It concludes my first book of 2021, which is crazy. I'm so excited to have 1 book down for 2021. I have already started the planning and the progress of the next reading vlog that I'm excited to jump into. I'm hoping that that one will help me get through whatever it is that's happening up here. Anyways, I really appreciate you taking the time out of your life to watch this video. I hope that maybe you can leave me some tips and suggestions. How do I get out of a reading slump? But more importantly, how do I get out of a year-long reading slump? I've already read one book, so, and I picked the lightest possible book that I could find on what's sort of reminiscence of my, the remnants of my shelves, basically. They're sort of torn apart. You saw that in the first clips. And of course, this is half my books anyway. I have the other half are still packed up. We just moved, sort of spread out basically, and now we're getting ready to move again. So pray for me. Okay, that is gonna do it for today's video. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you like me and would like to see more from me, please hit subscribe. I would be so happy to have you. All right, I hope that you are being safe, washing your hands, taking care of yourselves. Bye, guys.